Okay, this is TempleOS 5-minute random code walkthrough, episode 56, and I'm your host, Terry Davis. Here we go. Let's Alt B. And we are in the sprite editor menu. So, rather than explain I'll explain. Okay. Anyway, so hit Control R, then make sprite. Then you can do a couple lines. Anyway, now you go to the sprite edit menu. This is the menu. Can you see it down here? Click for help. Shift points with rectangle. Edit as text. Transform. Anyway, so shift points. So shift points lets you move individual points. Shift points with rectangle. Now we can draw a rectangle around and then move a bunch of points. Now there's a little tip. If you press R, well, if you press P, then it'll move a point. If you press R, then it'll draw a rectangle. So you can, anyway, I don't know if that's very useful. Edit as text. Okay, now we have point. Anyway, you can edit as text. Maybe we want to, transform. Now let's say you want to, scaling is, let's say multiply by 2. There's no Z, but I might as well say Z. Now let's say transform. Now let's rotate it 90 degrees. That's around the Z axis. The Z comes out of the screen. So 90 degrees. Now let's do transform. Let's do, I think it's off the screen. Where is it? You rotated 90 degrees. It's got to be around here somewhere. Where did it go? Let's rotate it back. Let's rotate it back minus 90. See what happens. Exit sprite. Let's try that again. Control R. Let's shift it. Sprite edit menu. Shift origin. Now you grab it and then move it. Now let's rotate it 90 degrees. Transform. Let's rotate it 90. I don't know what's positive anyway. Okay, so now it's over here. So let's add to the X and Y. Transform. Now let's add 200 to the X. And let's add 200 to the Y. Oops, that's rotating. We don't want to do that. 200. Okay. Now you can set the origin. Let's put the origin right in the center. Okay, now if we exit, the sprite is right, the center is the origin. Or we can shift the origin. That's, you grab and move it. Or insert sub-origin. Now I'm not even going to tell you what that is. It's pretty silly. Anyway, we can pick or delete objects graphically. So I'm going to delete this line. So I hold down D and then I click. Okay. Now I'm going to pick an element. Let's say I want to know which one this is. So I click. Oops. So I click Now the one that's highlighted, the current entry is that one. Delete this, just deletes the red one. Okay. Now insert clipboard sprite. Well, anyway, so that's what that menu is. I can tell you about, there's a sidebar sprite that has to be when we're at that menu, the sidebar, you saw what that was, am I right? So if we go to the sidebar, is this sidebar over here. So so that has to be handled in this menu code. So we do a pop-up sprite sidebar task. We pass it some parameters. That makes a new task. And this converts the sidebar items back into text when we're done. So each time you do a menu selection, it runs this, and it updates every time you do a selection. It updates the sprite based on what it finds in the sidebar. Anyway, so how about that?